Hey, hey, y'all. Y'all miss us. Y'all
You know
miss us.
they did.
Y'all miss us. Well, y'all, welcome back to the AudaSEWtea podcast. I am one of your illustrious hosts.
Ooh,
You
illustrious.
know,
Okay,
gotta
okay.
roll the
Coming out with
tongue
the
in it a little bit.
vocabulary. Okay.
Julian of Julian Creates. And who am I talking to today?
It's I, Aaronica B. Cole, aka the Needle in the Bell, aka Mom, aka, all of the above.
AKA National Sewing Teacher. AKA hopefully soon to be international.
Come on.
Hallelujah.
Oh, you know what? Let's speak that into existence. I like that. Like you
Right.
said, our passports need some more stamps. I saw your post. Where we going,
Not
Julian?
I need a
Where
fucking
we
step. How
going?
about that? I
Yes.
don't care. I just need to go somewhere. Well, but see,
Hmm.
but the thing is, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And
You
the way
don't.
things be working in this country,
It's ghetto.
I'm ready to go.
Yes.
That's a thing.
Yes. 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 Hmm.
We just don't know.
But we're gonna
At
make it
this moment.
happen.
But yes, I do.
Also, shout out to March being I forgot about this. I didn't forget, but I forgot to mention it as we prep for the show. But shout out to March for being International Women's History Month, right? One time for the
Yes,
women.
yes, yes.
So, hooty hoo. Use this
Gay woman,
opportunity
gay
to go
person.
ahead and purchase any one of my patterns or all of them. So, yes, shameless promotion
Buy
alert.
them all. Buy
Buy
them
them
all.
all, okay?
Both for Made for Mermaids and Know Me.
Boom.
Buy them
That's what he
all.
said. He said what he said.
Just saying. Just saying. But then also, happy national, is it National Quilting Month?
It is National Quilting Month.
Yes. I think it's actually International or National Quilting Day on the 16th
And you know who's
as
doing a
well.
quilt along?
Who's doing a
It's
quilt along?
me.
Right. Who talked about it on their oral field site
Oh,
when they were talking about their
oh,
threads, when they were talking on Instagram?
oh. It was me.
I was peeping. I was peeping.
But also like my one of my favorite quilt artists who is Satomi Quilts. She's
Mhm.
having a quilt along for her most recent quilt pattern. And we joined as Bernina brand ambassadors together. And when I saw it, I was like, girl, I'm gonna join you. And she was like, really? Now listen, I've learned so much from my Bernina brand ambassadors that are quilt artists, right? Because I learned how to paper piece from one of my brand ambassador like classmates, right? Because she was like, "Oh, I'm looking for testers," and I was like, "Oh, I'll test." She was like, "Have you ever paper piece before?" And I was like, "Nope," but your girl's down for a challenge. First of all, I did it all wrong the first time, but then she was like, "You did such a great job, but can I also make a suggestion? This is actually how you paper piece." And I was like, "Say what now?" Your girl had done it all wrong. But I came back with a vengeance and I got it together and I put that together. But I'm like, I always learn so much and I get excited about it. So I will be, of course, utilizing my Bernina L890. Also, shout out to Bernina for releasing a quilters edition of the L890.
It is love.
But I'll be using that for to do my quilt along. So excited about it.
Well, and if you need a little help, there is a new book out
There
called
is.
The Big Book of Serger Quilting.
And when you flip those pages, do you know who you see?
Who you see? Who you see?
You see the illustrious
Come on, come
Julian
on.
creates.
We in there. And
And he is. I'm gonna
I
have to make sure that the
am
next time that you come to Atlanta, I get mine signed underneath your name because your girl was geeked. But also
okay.
speaking of signed, also Sir Julian Creates was just featured in a magazine. Your
Tis
girl
was.
is still trying to get her hands on said magazine, so I too can have that signed by the illustrious Julian Creates. So
Yes.
we're skipping over Am I the Asshole because we know people are assholes. And we're going right into some updates because also I need for Julian to talk about this experience as well as this feature because I'm so excited and proud big sister. So let's go.
So let's see. Oh, here it is. I was looking for it. I know I have a copy down here because we got to keep the copy.
I know
Um,
that's right.
so I am in the March edition of a magazine called Cincinnati Magazine. If y'all know I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. Rep It Hard, and this is our monthly magazine that comes out. This is the Best New Restaurants edition. And in this magazine, they have something called the Style Council. This is looking at
The
people who are,
Style Council.
yes, Style Council.
Well,
It is really focused on like looking at fashion and arts and stuff like that and style of Cincinnati residents. I was chosen as a maker, so somebody who
mm-hmm,
I own clothing and stuff like that. They had started following me, and I think somebody had given them my name. Shout
mm-hmm,
out to Alyssa if she ever listens. Because what's funny is that I'm finding out some of the people I work with listen in terms of like grantees and stuff like that. Child, why
mm-hmm.
I head up to a meeting this week, and as I pull up or as I'm in the parking lot waiting to go in, my grantee pulls up and said, "Roll down your window," as she's fully listening to us on full blast
Come on.
in her
Shout
Jeep.
out
I
to
was
you,
like, "Come
sis.
on,
Shout out. Okay.
come on."
Excellent job having excellent taste in podcasts. We
I
love
mean,
you.
look. And she also has a podcast. It is, I think it's Deanna Be Talking. I need to check it
Okay,
out, make
so
sure that I
definitely
have
need to check that out because
the
that
right
sounds
name on it.
amazing.
Yes. And she's amazing. But yeah, so she was listening to us, but you know, in community and stuff like that, your name gets out there and something. So
Mm-hmm.
they um put my name in for this style council. And I just thought like it was a Zoom interview, and I thought that was going to be it. And they might use a
Yeah.
picture or something from my Instagram or something like that, and just make a little published post or something like that on their website. I
Something a
was
little
wrong.
small.
I was
Mm-mm.
wrong. So they then scheduled me a photo shoot. I brought two outfits. And once we got into the photo, and of course, y'all know I had to make the outfits because nothing fits. Nothing. So I made my first pattern, my Nomi 2009. I always want to
Mm-hmm.
say
Mm-hmm.
2009. My pants from that, and I added a vintage quick sew vest to it. No, quick sew, stretch and sew vest. Um,
Because I'm the proper stalker that I am, I definitely found the digital copy.
It is. It's up there. It's there. Um, and made that and then wore one of my jean jackets
Mm-hmm.
from the Mimi G jean jacket and some jeans I made for another image. And we got in there and just started shooting. So I have not actually seen the pictures yet. Beyond
Yeah,
this
he
picture
was up
that
in
they
there
post.
flipping his hair.
Because they said they wanted some movement and they said you have all this hair, let's get some movement. And they just started having me. It was
Listen, this is exactly what Willow was talking about when she said, I whip my hair back and forth. Okay. This was the energy that she was manifesting and subscribed, right? I'm in there like swimwear. I love this for us because you know what, Julian, you have non-traditional style, and it's about time that this get recognized for the beauty and excellence that it is. So we celebrate. Okay.
And I thank you. And I think especially this is the like first image that I've seen, like professional image that I've seen of myself in this new body.
Mm-hmm.
Um and it
And how
feels
do you
like
feel looking at it?
I am happy. I like it. I like it.
Okay.
I really enjoy it.
Yes. Yes. And if you're listening and you're like, and you haven't heard any of our episodes from last month in February, definitely go check out those because we both did some deep diving in body image, how we view ourselves, self-love, and that sort of thing. And so for Julian to say that he saw the images and was able to say, yes, I like this. This is huge. This is really big.
I really enjoy it. So yeah, I really it gave me a confidence. There might have been a thug tear or two when I saw it the first time. What
Mm-hmm.
was funny is because other people saw it before I did because it was not, you couldn't find it in stores first. So it was going to
Right.
people who are subscribers and had it
Mhm.
mailed to their house. And so somebody was flipping through it and saw it and sent me an image.
Were you like,
And
Mama, I made it, I'm famous?
I was like, Lord Jesus. And then I saw the image. I was like, oh, wow. Because I'd only seen like the pictures, like the behind the scenes that they took on my phone. I had
And
not
y'all, the
seen.
images are this one image, and of course, I've seen some of the behind the scenes image, but the one that they chose Yes. I mean,
It is,
like, what else can we say besides yes? Because
it is a
one,
good
of course, I love the movement, but for me, it was like a literally the embodiment of Kyle Barker because it was like putting some stank on it, right? Like I loved it so much. Yeah, we celebrate you, Julian. I'm so proud of you because you could
Thank
have
you.
said no. You could have done the I don't feel like I'm worthy, et cetera, et cetera. But instead, you pushed forward, even if it was uncomfortable for you in some moments. And I love how they have this yellow background because literally you are sunshine and you are radiant. So I am so in love with all of this right now.
And I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes.
I thank you.
Yes.
So this is good. And especially as a prophet never usually is seen or is never respected in their own
Mm-hmm.
hometown. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what this feels like. That's not the truth right now. And I mean,
Mm.
and the interview told a bit of my like I went to DAP, which is Design, Architecture, Art, and Planning, which is one of the top schools,
Yeah.
um, and it's with the University of Cincinnati. I was in there, one of the few black kids in there for fashion design at that time. I think it was the only. No, there might have been one other girl. So there was like two of us in a whole class.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I lasted a quarter and a half, or basically, yeah, a quarter and a half essentially, because of my drawing class and the criticism that was just there
Yeah.
was never a build up in there. And I was like, forget it. Like to this day, I really don't draw
Same.
because of my drawing class.
Mm.
So and talk about that, and it was reflective, like to go from there to now to here, like
Yeah. Yeah.
and really without the schooling that you feel that you always have to have.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's so interesting that you bring that up because, of course, last week I was at So Expo
Mhm.
and I stayed with Lilia, who did go to designs, like she did complete a design program and she's actually going for her master's in it. But I was also there with Trisha
Mhm.
from Creative Costume Academy and who, like me, is self-taught. Um, so it was very interesting to kind of be in like both of those worlds, right? And of course, I'm completely self-taught as well. So it's, and of course, one of the questions that I did want to ask Lilia that I did not get an opportunity to was, does she think that being, I don't want to say professionally trained, but I guess professionally trained in fashion design, does she think that that made a huge difference in like her as a like in sewing and coming up that way, which I think I'll save for another conversation with her. But I always think that that's interesting, right? Because um, there was a conversation that happened on Instagram and Instagram stories where a designer was talking about how influencers didn't have a space and shouldn't have a say in when it came to fashion design, when it came to fashion shows and things like that, and how influencers shouldn't be the ones who are sitting at fashion shows and shouldn't be um, like basically our opinions don't matter unless you've been professionally trained. Of course, in the next breath, she was asking me if I could help her expand her line to be more size inclusive. And of course, I'm like, well, your girl is not professionally trained at anything, right? I'm professionally trained at being myself. That's about
Right.
it.
Right.
Okay. Like I was at the school of the hard knocks, you feel me? Like that's about it. Um,
It's crazy. And it is one of those things, especially when I left fashion, I never thought I would get here. Like,
mhm,
like I put this up and this was not supposed to be my life.
mhm. Yeah.
And I put it up for a long, I mean, I graduated in 2009 from undergrad and
Mhm.
did not start sewing again until 2016. Like I had
Mm,
put it up. So to reflect and to think like, and probably similar to you, like you just, this was not
mm-mm,
what you thought,
mm-mm.
but here we are.
Here we are.
And it's
Because
lovely.
there were different plans, right? And I think that even I don't would never want to discredit someone who has actually gone through the schooling and
Oh
things
yeah.
like that. But I also think that for those of us who are out here DIYing it and figuring it out as we go, or more importantly, utilizing just what feels good to us, props to us, right? Because like you, I never would have thought that I would have been here because I've always just been the chubby girl who kind of got in where we could fit in, whether it was with style, whether it was with, looking good, whether it was trying to make things that were comfortable, but that also fit. I never thought that that would be something that would create I never thought there would be a space for that in this world today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it is, yeah, it's good. It's
Yeah,
good.
it is.
So yeah, it was it was just nice. It was a good thing that, and I think good things are happening to both of us, which is good because if you look at it right now, the craft world
Mm.
is in shambles. Because a few days
Chambliss.
ago,
Yes.
they were talking about Joann.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet baby Jesus Joann is about to could be hitting the bankruptcy. The bankruptcy, y'all, not the
Mm.
C, but the right bankruptcy. Chapter 11.
Not even
Um,
chapter 13. My goodness, we didn't even make it that
but
far. Okay.
so well, look, chapter 11, I think still like it basically said, I'm giving it to God. You can have it. You can have it. I'm
Pick
handing it to you.
somebody else because it's
I'm
not for
done
me.
with it. Right. So and this has been people have been worried for a long time. I think we've been seeing changes in what they choose in terms of fabrics. We've been seeing a lot of people have been getting their online orders chopped and screwed or canceled
Chopped and
altogether.
screwed.
Altogether.
Mainly screwed.
Right.
Let me
Right.
fall back. I'm okay.
Without Dunner or lube. Um,
Mm.
with a pinky thumb. But it's okay.
Okay.
Um,
And nobody's
so
even here for any of that. Nobody has subscribed to that. You know what I
I'm
mean?
just saying, right. Just give you gas. Um, it's so so we've been seeing the focus on fleece and flannel taking
Hmm.
over the racks instead of like the garment fabrics and stuff of old. Um, yeah, so like I think we've all been preparing and been gathering our provisions like it's the great flood of
Yeah.
Noah to make sure that we ready for whatever come out here.
Right.
And I
But we
think
saw that happen at the beginning, like right before the pandemic hit as well. And if we're being completely honest, the pandemic saved them, right? Because everybody and their mama was like, oh, I can sew, I'm gonna sew, I'm gonna sew. And even though not everybody who started sewing has continued, a lot more have continued.
right.
Um, but I also think that there were some things that Joanne should have probably done differently.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. They should have.
Yeah.
But
But of course, that brings up accessibility and availability for we, the crafters in the world, to be able to find the things that we're looking for, right? Now, one of the beautiful things that has happened, of course, with simplicity, um, where all of our current patterns are held. Also, shout out to this spring collection that has just dropped with Nomi patterns, because I don't know if y'all saw the flyness that, dare I say, both Julian and I have brought. And I
both.
love, yes, both. It was control copy, control paste in a
You
completely
put a
different
T in
way.
it. It ain't both. It's both.
Mhm. Both of them, both of them.
Both. Yes.
But also just very briefly, Julian is giving us edgy. Julian is giving us edginess. Julian is giving us, I'm bringing in spring and we are being sharp.
We
Okay.
trying. We trying,
and
honey.
and succeeding. Whereas like my spring things, I was like, oh, let's go frolic in a park. You know what I'm saying? Let's go have a picnic. Let's go on a day date, and enjoy ourselves while being sexy. We're
Well,
giving cleavage and back. You're getting these rolls, whether you order them or not. We're giving, you're welcome and bring the butter. Okay. Um, but we have seen, of course, the introduction of the PDFs on Simplicity's website, which I think has made, of course, things a lot easier for people to have access to our patterns. Now, while Simplicity does not ever do the $1.99 sales. We also have seen a lot more virtual sales of the patterns on there, which I do feel like speaks to possibly some things that even they had seen were going to happen, right? Knowing that they were going to have to start to do some sales to really entice the buyer's dollar. And I do also think that with the PDF patterns becoming more and more available and increasing the accessibility, not just in the US, but also overseas, we're also seeing the increased use of using them with the projectors, right?
Mhm.
And so not necessarily having to have the same things available, not necessarily only having them in tissue format. And of course, we've already seen the influx of these online retailers when it comes time for us to shop for fabrics. Now, I
Mhm.
will say that for like Julian and I, who might be our own, like we might have our own library of fabrics for which we are fabric librarians for.
Of course.
But if you are someone who does not know your fabrics, this might be a bit of a debacle. It might be a bit of a uh OMG, what am I gonna do type of thing. Especially if you are someone who is like, I need to feel the fabric before I buy it. I'm not that person. I am the person who is like, let me just go ahead and get those 4 yards things. Um, so Julie and I, of course, are very big online shoppers. So we are going to share some of the places where we have found success with our fabrics. And Julian also put a post up in his group on Facebook, So Manly, that we've also been sharing this as well. Like I'm going to go back and drop some more things on there. I shared 3 today, but we all know that's not the end all be all for me.
No.
Girl might have a problem.
I
I mean, it's
mean,
not actually a problem, right?
no, I mean, nor for me, you know.
Right.
No, no, no. But I think so. The ones that I shared today, the big ones, of course, were like Fabric Mart. I shop a lot of
hmm
Fabric Mart. I'm a
hmm
former Fabricista, so an ambassador for them.
hmm
So I love their fabric. Actually, I'm using a Fabric Mart fabric for the sew along itself.
Ooh,
So this is one of their eco viscose fabrics.
you know I'm here for the eco.
Right, right. Um, Super soft, very drapey and stuff like that. Great for this pattern. If you see my
Mm,
pattern, it will give a nice flavor and feel, especially going into the spring. I shared Fashion Fabric Club, or I need to. I buy a lot of my suitings and stuff there.
hmm
Um, then there is so I shared those. Somebody shared like Vogue Fabrics in who is also kind of in that Chicago, Illinois or Evanston, Illinois area,
hmm
which is a really good one. Fabric
You know, they were
Mart
out
is
at
in
So Expo this year.
oh good. They need
They
to
didn't
be.
bring a lot of fabric though. So I'm not
Well,
saying not oh good, but I am saying that like, I mean, we could have had a little bit more options. Do you
I
feel
know.
me?
But you know, baby steps, visibility. Baby
Facts.
steps and visibility. So we're gonna be excited for that. Um, but and Fabric Mart, they're in the Pennsylvania area. Um, so those are some of the big ones, but then you also have like Fabric Wholesale Direct is a
hmm
good one.
hmm
It's one of the places that I like to go for some of my different knit, like especially African knit, before I knew of some other places to go. That was
hmm
one of my first places that I went. So I used them when I made my shirt for my Bernina L860 campaign. It was all from Fabric Wholesale Direct. So those are some of like my big ones. But then Etsy, there's some Etsy sellers that I love.
Etsy. Yes.
I love. There's one called Fabulace,
hmm
Fabulace. I love them.
Mm.
And I shop them often because they're a good price with interesting knits, especially like for polos. And we getting into polo season.
I
One of
mean,
my
when is
main
it not
things.
polo season?
This is true, but like really like short sleeve polo, and especially because none of them fit, like they're all too big. I'm about to re up. About to re up.
hmm
It's necessary.
You know, one of my favorites, of course, is Amanda's bundles, which used to be So So English. And Amanda's bundles primarily has knit fabrics, which are
Mhm.
always fantastic. If you are into more spicy fabric, she actually even has an adults only section that is for like things that have possibly curse
Language.
words
Yes.
or you know I don't want to say questionable, but like that are a little bit more spicy is what we'll leave it at. And then of course, she has literally the best leggings, or I don't even want to say it's only leggings, right? But literally the best athletic knit in the world, which is fantastic. I actually just did when I was out at SoExo, I taught a class with it for leggings, and it was just so good. Like it has fantastic stretch. I love that. One of my other favorites is boho fabrics. Boho has a huge collection of not just knit fabrics, but also some really amazing woven fabrics. In fact, um, my cover from Emmy 2028, which is the strapless, like in the pleated pant, all of
Mm,
that fabric, minus the pink, like pink fabric was actually from boho fabrics as well. Like that was a silk and a what was the other one? A rayon blend. And it was from boho fabrics. And of course, there's also serge.
mm.
Serge is also fantastic. Serge fabrics, especially for bra making. Then there's like Nature's. If you're into like more natural fabrics, Nature's Fabrics is a fantastic fabric retailer. And actually, they are one of the sponsors for Atlanta Frocktails. So they also really have fantastic fabrics that have been sustainably sourced. And they do a heavy focus on them being eco-friendly, of course, as well as sustainable. So there are so many amazing options out there. In fact, I'm over here trying to fight myself from shopping as I bring them up. But
Look,
it's out there. Um, Now I will say that you should also come to Atlanta because we have fine fabrics, right? So if you're like, I was debating on coming to Atlanta Frocktails, um, I don't know, yeah, I just feel like you should come just to come and get this here fabric, go shopping with us, right? Because we've got fine fabrics. We actually have two fine fabrics here, which are really great because you get to go in and be able to touch and feel all that you need to. Um, and then we also have a couple of other fabric retailers called, we've got the Fabric Joint. We have some other spaces that are in person. And I'm sure 100% that there are other like local shops like that. Like there's one, what's the one that Carmen is always talking about in like the Philly area?
Gaffney's.
Mm-hmm.
There's Gaffney's, then there is mm, I can think of it. I because I follow them. So there's
Me too.
Gaffney.
There's the one that's halal fabrics, right?
Allow. Yes, allow. So and they are really great for like the ITY and stuff like that. They
Mm-hmm.
serve the Muslim community, so a lot of the hijabs and stuff like that, and the coverings, which are a lot of times made out of the different knits. They offer that in a variety of colors. But then they also have Jomar, which is kind of like a
Mm.
fabric store and thrift shop, I think,
Okay.
together. Definitely make sure you're shopping your local one. So, like for me, that
Yeah.
is Hey Make Do or Make Do, which is a black owned, woman owned fabric and craft store here in the city of Cincinnati.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay.
Then there is Silk Rose Textiles. Y'all have heard me talk about them for many, many of times if you follow me online. They are also woman owned by a former teacher who was a crafting home ec person for 25, 30 years, I think.
Mm.
Who loves to source really great fabric, especially like African fabric. There's a piece in there that I still want that is like silk kente,
Mm.
woven. Um, that's just still a little bit above my budget that I want to spend. But some beautiful, gorgeous fabrics. The tapestry style black and white print that I use in the sew along for my coat,
Ooh,
which
mhm.
was 2059, that came from there.
That was
Um,
so beautiful too.
and they have wonderful sales. Another good place to go, especially let's say that you don't feel like you have some of those in-person places, is LA Finch Fabrics is a
Mhm,
good one.
mhm.
I love their end of bolt sales because that end of bolt be like still sometimes 3 or 4 yards.
I'm over here pulling these things up as you're talking about them, because I
Um,
have zero behavior.
I mean, look. Then of course there's still like Cali Fabrics. I don't know if we
Mm-hmm.
mentioned yet, but Cali Fabric
Mm-mm.
is another one. If you are interested in a lot of like your tech fabrics, so like your polar techs, stuff to make warm weather outdoor gear, there's Discovery Fabrics.
Ooh.
They are in my Facebook group, So Manly. But they really focus on a lot of your like technical outdoorsy style fabrics. Really cool.
Yes, you know what? Somebody mentioned them on Instagram recently, and I was all up and through their website as well. I think that Francesca sews with their fabrics a lot
Okay.
because she does a lot of outdoor she be
Right.
out here making like sleeping bags and stuff like that.
Child, and I'm allergic.
I know. I'm
Allergic.
I'm like, girl, couldn't be me, but I'm
Blessings.
so proud of this for you.
Right. Blessings. Go forth
Yeah.
and prosper in the wilderness.
Yes.
They like Sandra and Elvin in the wilderness. If you know the Cosby reference, you know the
Yes.
Cosby reference.
But it couldn't be me. And
No.
I cheer her on, and I love this so much for her. And I'd be like, you look amazing. I love that you made this sleeping bag with a matching backpack.
But the funny thing is as I think of Sandra and Elvin and this wilderness stuff, I'm like, oh, y'all was some really rich black people. Because y'all the only people have ever heard of black folk wanting to open up a wilderness store
A
up
wilderness
in like
store.
New
Over
York,
here giving
Connecticut.
us Elsa and Anna before we were even ready.
But here's the thing, especially in the early 90s, y'all up here
Right.
trying to open up a black owned wilderness store
I love it. I actually love it for us. So
for them, not for me. Can't have it. That ain't my
for
ministry.
you. Mhm.
No, 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 no. My roughing it is a Holiday Inn.
That is kind of rough though.
I mean, hence. I
You know, they have like a lot of glamping trips around here in Atlanta, and I'm not
that's
gonna lie, your girl wants to go. I'm trying to glamp and be like,
I love that for you.
I'm gonna go. And you know what? They actually have this Airbnb that is in like I think North Carolina or in Tennessee, and it's like a tree house, and you shower outside. And I was like, oh my God, yes, signed up, subscribed. Let me take a shower in wilderness.
If y'all can see my face, put the devil in Colorado.
It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. Don't worry, I'll
And I
send you
love
pictures.
it for you, for you, for you. Hmm.
It's
I
gonna
will
be
be
so
at the
fun.
Four Seasons chilling
That's so funny
in the
because
spa.
like so last year when I turned 40, I was
Hmm.
like, Denver, I want to be outside. So he was like,
Yeah,
oh, okay, well, why don't you do a trip to Chateau Elan? And I was like, yeah, I don't want to be like bougie outside. I'm trying to be like outside, outside. He
child,
was
that
like,
ain't bougie.
okay, cool. Like, I'll make that happen too. So we went to, and we're obsessed with tiny houses.
Right.
So we went to this tiny house, like this tiny house situation, and it was like a tiny house, like I don't know, it was like a rental area. So it was a big tiny house community, right?
Hmm.
And so I was like, this is fantastic. I love this. This is the exact kind of outside that I meant because like it was, in fact, outside there was like the Adirondack chairs outside. There was like, a fire pit. And I was like, this is perfect. And he was like, come on, let's go hiking. I was like, oh, okay, wait, pause.
I
That's
just want to
actually
be
not the
outside.
outside that I meant. I was just trying to be like sitting and enjoying the air outside,
Right.
like not like out here, like
And he's thinking, I could have just did this and sat on the patio in the backyard if you wanted to be outside.
probably.
Right. Hmm. Mm-mm. I'm good.
Yes, I digress
But yeah, I
because
think in all of this, the biggest thing is like, we stand ready, and there's a great opportunity here to
yeah,
really support the places that you like,
right.
um support your people that you like. This is the
Hmm.
really dive into the
Support small
community.
businesses, y'all.
Right.
I and as for the business owners, y'all, this is really the time for you to come through with that marketing. This is the time for you to come through with the sales strategy. This is the time for you guys to be out here utilizing what you can to get in like to become relevant if you feel like you are not, right? One of the smaller brands, or at least who was once smaller, that I've seen do this really well is Kiki Textiles. Now,
Yeah.
I will say that I did not work with her when she pitched me because there were a lot of deliverables for a couple yards of fabric. And the way that I'm set up, I'm not doing that. Like I get that we are all small businesses, but your girl still needs to be paid, especially if you're requesting specific things.
Right.
So, but I will say that I have seen her ads running. I've watched her accounts grow. I've watched people like shop organically from her. I've watched her get in front of the camera, get behind the camera. I think she's doing a fantastic job with raising awareness about her fabric store. And I think that she's probably spent a lot of money on advertising. But here's the other thing is that you spend a lot of, or an appropriate amount of money on advertising and marketing in the forefront, and then you get the organic stuff on the back end, right? Because now you've become a household name. Now, when people think of fabric stores, they're like, "Oh, isn't Kiki Textiles a fabric store?" So I do think that she was smart to kind of do that and get on the ground running with that. So
Sure.
fantastic job to you, Kiki.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, and especially like, and she just gave y'all some business. Like, make sure that y'all listening because look, this is the
Yeah.
perfect time. And not only for like fabric, but also notions. Now, here's the thing. I will be sad because we be running out of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we run there. Certain things, if I don't run there, I'm running to Walmart. But Wawak is another good one. But I think that
Mm-hmm.
there's now opportunity for more small shops that sell notions. I think one place that does is the Sewing Report. Her shop, you can find her on YouTube. I followed her for years.
Okay.
So she also sells notions and stuff like that on Etsy. It's going to take a little bit of more time, so there's going to have to be a level of thoughtfulness in how we operate moving forward, which is
Yeah.
fine. Um, we just have to be ready for that.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we ain't said craft for you, and if y'all know what I mean by saying that. But I mean, look, in all of that, you ain't got to go there if you don't want to. That ain't got to be
You
your
don't have
option.
to.
There are other options there.
Yeah.
Um, but also, and this is like, this is an opportunity even for sewing machines
Mm-hmm.
and other materials because a lot of people get their first one from there or something like that. Or maybe you had a Viking sewing gallery in your store. What they're
Mm.
saying now is that that's one of the first things that are leaving. People are already saying that there's a 50% off sale for like Viking sewing gallery supplies. So like some of the accessories and stuff like that are upwards of 50% off as they are closing down their shops.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
what's going to be interesting, I don't know where people who buy those Husqvarna Vikings and stuff like that are going to go. But it should be interesting. For a
Yeah,
little
that
bit
should be.
of time, what was happening is that they were already leaving because in some of the concept stores for Joann's, they put in a larger sewing machine area
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they were selling all different brands and stuff like that, and including Husqvarna. Um, so where that will go, I don't know, but it was always very interesting to see.
Yeah. I'm very, very interested to kind of of course, like, yes, I'm very interested to see how this affects the community, right? Because we're talking about sewing, but then of course there's also people who knit, right? I will say that this is a fantastic opportunity to also support the local artisans because I have been watching some of these knitters who create the yarn, do some amazing custom dyes and custom creations, and I am always in awe, right?
Hmm.
So it's a great opportunity to begin to support them, right? And then even if you are into vinyls and doing stuff like that, there's always a space to purchase from, is what I will say, right? Like you do have to account for more time. Now, whether you are someone who supports Hobby Lobby or not, we're not going to get into the politics of that.
Craft Foyer, Voldemort. We don't name them for real.
Got it. Craft. Boy,
Hmm.
why did it just click what you said, like craft foyer? Like I was like, craft foyer, what is that? Because I was about to hit Google up because I told you I was over here looking up all the things that you were saying. And I was like, craft foyer, man, I've never heard of that. Okay.
So yeah, I stopped
Got it.
calling them otherwise. I just use the synonyms. They're
Yes.
not for you.
I love this because you're so creative. You're
Hmm.
so crafty.
I've, ca- I've called it that for years. It's just,
So,
what
I
we do.
will say that, in a bind, if you need to go to the craft fair, of course, absolutely, like, because there's always going to be something that,
Of
we
course.
last minute need, right? And Wally World may not have, and Craft Fair may have. But
Absolutely.
I do feel like this is going to push creatives to be a little bit more prepared with our creations, right? Like, but also I'm a little sad because, I remember when Hancock Fabrics was around.
Look, look, yes. It's so there is what's going to be interesting is that there will probably be a generation of those who are getting into crafting who have never like perused a fabric store.
Mm,
Like have
peruse.
never
Yeah,
like just went through the racks and felt the
right,
fabric. So, and
right.
a lot of times people do like to shop in person and they will no longer have that experience. So one of the things that is important is that you will now need to know kind of have an understanding of your fabrics and of your
Yeah.
content. So places even such as Mood and stuff like that, they do sell swatch books so that you can
Hmm.
at least know what the fabrics feel like when they talk about it
Yeah.
by the name.
Vogue Fabrics also is another one that's
Yes.
selling swatches, right?
And they have a whole
Um,
like swatch kit every year that they
what is
sell.
it? Fabric Wholesale Direct does too.
Hmm.
So, be creative, right? Yes, they're shutting down, but
Well,
we've
we don't know
also,
if they shutting,
oh,
but
you're right, you're right.
we
Some
just
are shutting
know
down. No, I'm not
shit's
gonna
happening.
lie.
Yes,
Not
stuff
gonna
is.
lie.
What's
As
interesting is
soon
now
as I hear one local going out of business, do you know
yeah,
where I'll be?
there.
There.
Yes,
That's where I'll be. I'll be right
yes,
there. Okay.
there. Buying it. Hmm.
Shamelessly as well.
As
Um,
you should. That's our way. That's how we do it.
right.
That's how we do it.
Um, but I will also say, and we've also just seen another fabric company shut down. Um, and of course, that's Melanated Fabrics. I don't know if you all had the opportunity to shop, but your girl did shop. I didn't shop until I dropped because y'all, there were some people whose fingers were faster than mine. In fact, I logged in to my email account and I was like, what is this refund for?
Not you gotta get your money back because somebody bought it all.
And that's what it was.
Uh-huh.
Listen, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, why?
I
I
ain't
got a
gonna.
refund of $11.33. I don't even know what it was for. But your girl was like, wait, pause. Pause. I don't even know if I want that refund. Like that might not be what I wanted. You know what I'm saying?
So, either way, you can't get it clearly.
Right. But I got a refund of my cotton spandex. I was a little sad about that. You know what I'm saying?
I can't even talk because I'm the person who will, especially on Etsy, if it shows me other people got it in their car, I will buy it all up so that
Immediately.
everybody else
But
can
I
have
thought
it.
that so here's the thing. I thought I checked out. I thought I checked out really quickly.
Clearly not quick enough.
Not quick enough, yo. Not quick enough.
But so what's also interesting as we don't know what's happening and stuff like that, but exciting things are still happening in the sewing community.
Hmm.
So like like we talked about with the Bernina L890 QE is coming out and stuff like that. Um,
Yes.
it's going to be interesting. Usually their dealer events do have all different types of stuff happening, so I can't wait to see what else is coming out.
Absolutely.
This year,
Ooh. Can't wait.
I don't
Yes.
know, not, but I'm interested because there's certain things we hoping and wondering and being very like I wonder if this is going to be the year we get something. We
Yeah.
we gonna see. But then also too, what's interesting today, so today that we are filming this on March 5th, there was a HSN debut of something. The singer, I think it's called Momento. Okay. It is currently exclusive on HSN until the end of the month.
Hmm.
But it is a fabric cutter. So it's like a Cricut or a silhouette for
Hmm.
fabric.
or
almost
fabric,
exclusively. So, and it's all different types of fabric. It has a 24-inch wide cutting space.
right?
Um, I have not found out if like you can actually cut like a clothing pattern on it. Like I'm curious about that. Of
Yeah, I
course,
feel like it depends on obviously what you're cutting, right?
right,
So, just of course some of the higher level details, you can it's got I think it'll be really great for quilting, honestly,
right,
because you'll be able to cut five preset quilting shapes.
right.
Then it has a mat very similar to, of course, your Cricut, your Silhouette, your brother cutting one. It is Wi-Fi enabled. You can either do it Wi-Fi or you can actually, connect.
Mhm.
Um, so I think that it'll be really cool. Like I am interested to see, like you said, but I will also say that I'm interested to see like whether they're just doing this to compete with Cricut and with the brother, what is it? Cutting something or
Uh,
other.
Scan and cut, scan and cut.
Scan and cut. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I'm like, it
If
has a pen as well.
it
You know what I'm
does,
saying?
it does. So
I'm
like you
like,
can do more than that.
right.
Price wise, it's at the like it's at a price point of scan and cut. I think it's right now it's on sale for like seven.
Yeah,
I think
700, like
price is like
699.
yeah, normal price is like 8.99, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it is it's at that scan and cut level of pricing. But I'm just curious. Of course, like it literally was just announced today, so I'm wondering what's about.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now it will be interesting. I'm wondering if it will have access because SVP is also connected with like Ditto. If it will have a connection to the Ditto library.
Mm.
But what I did not see is that their cutting mat is not wide enough. Like it would almost need like a long cutting mat to cut like a piece of a dress or something like that.
Yeah. And right
They're
now,
not
all they're
showing
doing, the largest mat that they have is a 24 by 24.
right. So it's more craft related, but I'm like, if you did this for garments, you be on to something. But
On to
also if you
something.
did it with a 36, at least a yard cutting space.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you
Yeah.
be on to something. You be in some money.
I agree. I agree 100%.
But they ain't asked me. So I ain't tell them nothing.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say something, but we're giving glory to God for growth. So,
Growth and grace. Parlay.
growth and grace. Beautiful things, beautiful things.
Beautiful gowns. Gowns. Beautiful. Beautiful gowns.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, so that is such an interesting I'm a little excited about it, I don't know, like I'm interested to see how that grows and develops because I'm not gonna lie, even though I use a projector to cut, projecting is still not, I mean, cutting is still just not my favorite thing to do, right?
Understood. It's
Like
none of ours, yeah.
simply not. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, ooh, the amount of things that I could be doing instead of
Anything.
this. You know what I mean?
Yes. Anything but this.
Literally anything but this.
Hmm.
So, yeah, that would be really helpful. I know for myself. But in truth, so I have the ACU Quilt Go where you put it through when it cuts out the what is it?
The,
The quilt patterns and stuff like
yeah,
that.
the blocks. The little blocks.
Right. And so you have the die cuts and stuff like that. Also, shout out to Tiffany from Tip Stitch for having
Right.
her first die cuts added here.
They're super.
So yeah, I'm interested to see if it'll be kind of like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or if it'll be different, you know? Because like I love my AccuQuilt GoPro and I think is really cool, but I do really wish that I could cut, like you're saying, I wish I could cut more or I wish I could cut bigger pieces. You know what I'm saying?
But the thing that I see that would be different is that similar to how, like with a Cricut, I think you can only cut like one layer with
Hmm.
like go like with the ACU Quilt, I think you can cut more. But of course, that's a die cut. So it's a different style of technology. But it is interesting, but especially if you're doing like pre-cuts or like if you got scraps of fabric and you're ready to cut them up into for shapes or for like quilting or something like that, cut it
Yeah.
down into like squares. The fact that it has the technology to know how many squares it can get out of a thing and
Mm-hmm.
maximize fabric use and minimize waste might be nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Might be, but
I like that. I like that a lot.
mhm,
Uh, and I'm here for the cutting edge, and I think it's really great that people are coming out with more things, right? Because sometimes it's almost like a thing of like, well, what else could we come out with to make things better? You know what I mean? I
right.
know that we're both Bernina brand ambassadors, but I'm just gonna say this, okay? I'm gonna say it.
Hmm.
That FAF feature where they have that laser to help you maintain seam allowance and things like that, that is really cool.
So yes, some machines, there have been more machines definitely that have started to put that feature in.
Yeah.
Again, I'm interested to see what comes because
Yeah.
but also I think a lot of brands, if you don't want to buy a machine because it has that, you can easily add that. Like it's basically a laser pointer that you can command strip to your machine. Um this week, I guess, especially in recording my so long,
Hmm.
I am really realizing why I'm so brand loyal to machines.
Yeah.
So I have the machine that I'm using for my so long behind me.
Okay.
Okay, I ain't saying who it is.
Like
If
I
you,
was, I'm over here peeking. Okay. Peekity
yeah.
peek, peek, peek.
But the
Gotcha.
reason is because literally it coordinates with the fabric.
Why are you this way?
Because I am.
Why are you this way?
I mean, but it's all in teal, and then my nails also
I was about to
coordinate.
say, and then here go your nails being blue.
Yes, because there's blue in the shirt. It all coordinates. It all coordinates. But and so I did the top on it, but I can't do the pants on it because I'm like, I can't do this no more. I can't.
Come on. I have a standard, and this is just not meeting it.
It is not my. It's mm-mm, mm-mm.
Pick somebody else to do it.
Literally.
But so here's the thing, and I agree with that, right? Because so before I headed out of town, I was like, oh, you know what I need to do? I need to drop the girls off for their
Right,
spa day.
right.
Do you know what I didn't do?
Drop them off.
So Bernie just got her very own spa day where I had to open up the bottom.
Oh, all serious.
Julian,
Oh, I know. Uh-huh.
Julian.
Embarrassed yourself, didn't it?
I was like, oh, and then I caught it on film because I record my weekly vloggy vlogs, and I was like, gasp in Spanish.
Escándalo.
Listen, I was like, wow. Not me like literally being like, oh, I'm not actually ever concerned about my machines because I really do a good job of upkeep.
Uh,
Julian, Julian,
I
color
tell
me
you,
embarrassed. I
we
was
get
like,
it.
eight, there's just no way.
We've
There is
been
just
there.
no way.
We understand your pain. We know it.
I was like, wow.
It was me.
And to think that I had literally thought to myself and said, like, I had said this aloud to my dealer. I was like, oh, I'm not actually worried about, I'm not actually really too concerned about, I'm not really concerned about my machine. I'm going to drop it off. It'll still be, clean or whatever because your girl be over here.
Dusting and vacuuming. Hmm.
Listen, I immediately was like, mm-hmm.
I'm post.
Literally, all I could do was shake my head at myself because what? How dare I?
Hmm.
How dare I?
You shamed yourself.
I did shame myself, and I was really like, this is absolutely absurd.
Hmm. But
Literally absurd. Because like I was like, wow, wow. Like I
mm,
had to go in with my tweezers and pick stuff out as well. Like I literally had that vacuum cleaner on for a good 10 minutes minimum. And Denver was like over my shoulder, like, wow. First of
oh,
all, sir, that's not what we're doing today. Okay.
right. You're not about to judge me in
Anyway,
my
she's clean
mistake.
now.
Well, praise the Lord.
Praises. We give
Praise.
glory to God for at-home masks and spa days.
Look, when necessary.
He
When
was like, so how do they clean it? Like, because like
Mhm.
I see what you're doing. You're doing a fantastic job, but also there's a potential that you get more. But how do they do it?
Oh,
And I was like, okay, all right, like
not he up there
settle
saying,
down.
you
Yeah,
ain't
how
you.
about you become a certified sewing machine technician so I don't have to take my machines in, all
I mean,
right?
there's called Sewing Doc Academy. There's that.
Listen, when Denver G. Cole is enrolled right along with his dear brother Julian creates, right?
Come on, come on, let's do it. Because look,
Because what you're not gonna do is sit in judgment looking at my machine and then not be able to offer anything besides your judgment.
right,
Right. Judge my life as you're cleaning it out.
exactly. At least be useful as you judge.
Be useful as you judge, okay?
Because so here's the thing, like especially with this machine that I'm using, it is literally there's one feature on it that
Hmm.
is killing me. I hate the way that it backstitches.
Oh, okay.
I hate the way that it backstitches because it does not automatically just do it. It does one or two stitches forward before it goes back. And then I have to re-push it and it will do one or two stitches still backwards. And then it will stitch in place for one or two times and then come forward.
Mm.
Do not do that. Precision, I sew for precision. And this is not that.
You know what? That would piss me off like the first couple of times because I would be like, oh, I wasn't expecting this. And here we are, and you're doing this, and I don't know how I'm supposed to react to this. You know what I mean? And then it would piss me off every other time, right? Because then I would forget again and then be like, oh, like I forgot that this is what you do. You know what I'm saying?
Try and tell you. Try and tell you. It bothers me to know.
That would bother me too.
But yeah, y'all. Get ready so y'all can stay ready. We want to know what are some of y'all go-to shops that y'all going to shop through just in case we hit the craft tundra and
Hmm.
Joann's is down for the count. So where you gonna go? And what are some of the places that are your go-tos that you want to suggest to the community at large? We want to know.
Yeah. So please drop tag, do all of the things. We want to make sure that we have a collective of places that we can be going as well as referring you all to go. So yeah, we're ready. We're ready. Make sure that you share that information. Do not be gatekeepers of this info. Sharing is caring. Oh, also, last shout out to Olga's Closet. She has so much fabric. It's amazing.
Okay,
Yeah. Also
come
that.
on. Also,
All right, Julian.
wait a minute, backroom finds as well, especially if you like vintage fabric as well as vintage patterns. And then also Gilded Feathers on Etsy. She is doing a sale right now. She has vintage patterns all the way back to like the early 1900s, like so like kind of like Edwardian Victorian area patterns, but she also has like
Mm,
pieces. Like she has gowns,
wow.
like 1890s gowns.
I just pulled up the backroom finds.
Yep. And that's Stephanie Canada, who you did meet at the expo.
I did. In fact, I was like, Stephanie, are you going to come onto our podcast one day? And she was like, yes.
I love it. So y'all, we gonna do more guests. I got some. We got some other people up our sleeves that we need to bring on. It's coming.
Facts.
It's coming.
Facts.
Y'all
All
can
right, Julian. So what are you working on?
ADHD
I already
mind
know what you're working on, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. What are you working on?
so along, so along. It's coming, y'all. Like view A is basically done. I just need to add buttons.
Mm-hmm.
But then I can't. But I want to do view B so I can take pictures. But right now, when I tell you my camera is cat raggedy and don't want to like I trying to get shit off my camera and because I don't do these enough and don't use the camera enough, it's always having to relearn. I'm just about to go get an SD card reader and just pull it out that way because I'm over it.
Yeah. My favorite tool is this right here, especially for when I just want to edit on my phone.
Mm.
It just plugs in, makes it so easy. And
Mm-hmm.
then I also have one that's compatible with my iPad too.
Oops, look at you fancy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I just need one to like if I get one that's a USB-C, that can go for any other device.
Right. Yeah.
You need to be on
Yeah.
the because the way these files are, I just need to pull them off.
I know that's right.
I'm on it
Obviously, I'm not working on it so long, but I
because
am
she's
working
God's
on,
favorite and did it already.
I
That's
know,
all.
but also I'm working on summer pattern. So I've got that going. Um, that's what I'm working on. But I'm so excited about it. So, like I'm not hating it. I'm actually really enjoying it. I actually did legit math to try to count to officially calculate like a full booty adjustment on the pants pattern and stuff like that. So it's more exact, more precise. So I was like, okay, girl,
Come on,
I see you. Okay.
come on.
Okay. So I'm really excited about that. Very excited about how it's turning out. The fit is fantastic. The rise is top notch because of course when you have a gift from God on your backside, there's some things that you got to make sure happen, you know.
Right.
So that's what I'm working on. Um, but yeah. Also, again, make sure that you are checking out our spring patterns that have dropped on the simplicity.com website, along with our fellow designers. Also, I had a skirt that dropped last week, the Presley pleated skirt. So,
Mm-hmm.
if you are into making the pleated skirt of your dreams out of some knit fabric, right? Not woven, it's drafted for knit. Definitely head on over to madeformermaids.com and grab yours there. The final thing that I will say is I am doing in honor of Women's History Month. I am giving a 40% discount on all of my 1 hour coaching sessions. That discount code will be inside of the show notes. So be sure to check there.
Oh, so that means I had to fully listen to get it.
Boop.
Come on now. Come on now. But y'all, especially as we talked about earlier, this is the time there is an opportunity here. So definitely, if you have an idea or something like that, take up that coaching. Come on now,
Yeah.
y'all know y'all want to. But y'all, we want to say thank y'all. Thank y'all so much for listening. Thank y'all so much for hitting us up, saying that y'all listen to the podcast. We love to hear it. Please continue to do so as we build this community together. Together.
Yes.
But y'all, until next time, we hope that y'all are having a good week full of creativity and inspiration, and of course, and most importantly, being audacious. Bye, y'all.
Bye.